Okay, exception handling. Whenever you have a batch of code that you're not sure whether the bug existing in this code and will make the program stop, you want to surround this dangerous section of code with a try and accept. Okay, if the code in the try works, so it's not a Boolean value, it's not true or false. It means that the whole program can go through. If the whole program can go through, the accept statements will be skipped. If the code in the try fails, that means the bunch of codes do have bugs and it doesn't go through, it throws out an exception, it jumps to the exception section. Let me show you this. For example, I'm executing this no-try.py code, and we first define a string called a string. A string is hello Bob, and we want to convert the string into an integer, I string, which is integer a string. We learned this before, that if a string is quoting a number, then it can be converted to a string, for example, to an integer. For example, if it's 3 here, and it can be 3. If it's 3.6 here, no, it's not, because it's a float. So only when the string is a string of an integer, it can be converted to an integer by the int function. If it's hello Bob, sure, you will have a exception here. It says invalid iterer for integer with base 10, hello Bob. No, hello Bob is not an integer, so you cannot use the int parenthesis, this function. This is what this value arrow is talking about. It's value arrow, means that the value there is some arrow in this value. So the codes after this integer a string will not be executed, because here this program will stop. So the print first I string, then you reassign the 123 to a string, then this can be executed. But since program has stopped here, all of these statements will not proceed. Therefore, the program stops here, and these programs, the statements in the yellow color will not be executed. How do we modify this code? We can use the try exception or exception handling. We first try if a string can be converted into an integer. If it can be converted into an integer, then go on, you print out this, and you do this thing. And if these statements, if cannot be converted into an integer and will throw an exception, you rather execute this statement. Okay. When you ran this TryAccept.py code, you will first print first, but -1 here, because the conversion of a string to an integer will not be executed properly. But here, 123 will be converted into a integer, and this integer will be printed out here. So you print out second and 123. Okay. So TryAccept is basically saying, if the code can go through, then execute the code. If it doesn't go through, execute the statement in accept. One thing is to be very careful is that do not make very complicated or dangerous codes in the accept statements. The accept statement has to be very clear and correct. Otherwise, you will still encounter a exception being thrown out in the accept statement. Here we want to try, you print hello, then I string is a conversion from a string to an integer, which cannot be executed and print out there. So when you run this code, first is the first line will be executed, and a string is Bob now. Then it will print out hello, but here it doesn't go through. Okay, and it jumps out, and the print there will not be executed. So there will not be printed out. Then we go to accept, and we assign -1 to I string, and then we print the last statement. Okay, let's run this. Okay, you print out hello, but here the program stops and it goes to accept, and we assign -1 to one string, I string, so you print out done, and I string which is -1 here.